Ah, the miracle in Miami. Possibly the greatest play in the post-Dan Marino era for the Miami Dolphins. And I was there. And while my story's not as important as those players on the field and the players on the sidelines preparing for the game, I was close enough to the action that maybe getting a fan's oral perspective of this night, this amazing play, is in order. Because there I am. You probably can't see me, but I'm in an orange shirt, sitting next to my wife with a white shirt, and this is me recording the footage once I overcame from the shock of the amazing feat that I saw. They were celebrating right in front of us. So, let's go back. I've been to season ticket holder since 1988, and until a few years ago, I used to sit right where the tunnel where the players come out, which is always a great place to have some interactions with the actual Dolphin players and the opposing teams. So, here's me getting taunted by Mark Sanchez.
You got lucky, Mark. You know, Henry.
Here's me making small talk with Michael Phelps, a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Hey, man, congratulations. I didn't know you were a Baltimore fan.
And here's me recording Jason Taylor just before he was about to be traded. His final game as a Dolphin before being traded to the Redskins. He did come back, but this seemed like it was going to be his final game, so it was a pretty emotional farewell. And, of course, me recording this got the center from the Detroit Lions a $100,000 fine from the NFL, but it had nothing to do with me. So, yes, the miracle in Miami. My wife and I were sitting in section 107. We had seats 3 and 4. And it's the front row, but it's technically not the front row in the end zone. We're off to the side of the end zone. It is the front row of the actual end zone, but then there's a luxury box right in front of us. So, and we sat there, and we were surrounded by Patriot fans. Seats 1 and 2 was a Patriot fan with a Dolphin fan. It was a mixed couple. Somehow they survived. And to our left side, seats 5 through 8 were 4 really loud Patriot fans. And to be fair, they were pretty obnoxious at first. But then at one point, a referee got hurt right in our end zone that he sort of slipped and fell. And they were concerned, and we were concerned. And my wife found out what happened and passed on the information, and we bonded after that. So we found that common interest, which is, we actually cared for a referee, which was, I guess, nice to see. So anyway, the game pretty much seemed over, as most people thought. The stadium was pretty empty by the time this play happened. And 4 minutes to go into the game, my wife was saying, let's go. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then 2 minutes, after the 2-minute warning, I'm like, let's go. Because when we used to sit in the tunnel, we always stuck around till the end because the players would come out and sometimes we'd walk away with, some kind of like a towel or a handkerchief or not a handkerchief, wristband or any kind of swag. So, but after they repositioned the stadium, they moved us around. So we have 2 different seats up in the 300 section and in the 100 section that we float around from one seat to the other. This time we had what we considered the perfect seats because as this celebration is happening, right there, this is at our end zone. That's more or less like section 105, 106. The actual players start shifting towards section 107, which is where we are. So you had this amazing celebration where Drake is basically just being mobbed by everybody, and Tannehill, obviously, after he dropped to the ground and did, an angel in the snow, gets up and joins Drake right in front of me, right in front of my wife, basically 10, 15 feet away from us, and I was lucky enough to be there to record it. So, it's kind of interesting when you think about the fact that there's so many fans at the game, and obviously we're not recording every play, and it's not something that's even, legal to be recording games, but reactions are perfectly fine, and so I didn't even have my phone out, just basically thinking there's no way this is going to be special, until technically it was too late. I would have loved to get the players coming in, but then again, I was actually, my hands shaking from the actual, I'm surprised that thanks to the iPhone image stabilization, it's not as shaky as it probably was out there with the stadium was thundering. My wife was keeled over at one point just out of shock. I just had my hands exalted. And yeah, that was an amazing time to be a Dolphin fan. And of course, the Dolphins, this put them to 7-6 in the 2018 season. It obviously wasn't enough to get them to the playoffs. And the New England fans weren't necessarily pissed because they knew that where they're going to the Super Bowl again, always. But, it was an amazing time. And I'm in that shot too. So, yes, an amazing time, and I'm glad I could share this perspective. Someone who's just a fan of the game, who was ready to leave. Me and my wife were ready to go. Not that we're fair weather fans, but that there's a lot of traffic leaving, and we just didn't want to be part of what would be a New England celebration. We're so glad we stuck around. We've been at some amazing Heat games. This is after so many a dry spell for so many Dolphin years lately. It was just bad years. In the past, we used to be good, if not great. It was great to see this play kind of happen. And obviously 2019 is not off to a very good start. But with New England back in town, anything's possible. And that's it. That is an oral history from a fan's perspective of the Miracle in Miami.